working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. We begin with national news. Sources close to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi say she will announce she now backs a formal impeachment inquiry of President Trump. That announcement is expected to come this afternoon, according to NBC News. A fast-growing number of Democratic House members support the move following disclosure of that whistleblower complaint about President Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president. Meantime, President Trump says he'll release a transcript of that call. One member this morning called impeachment articles inevitable, but at least one Trump ally says the focus should be on Joe Biden and his son's business dealings in Ukraine.
So later today, I will request the unanimous consent of the Senate to pass a resolution calling for the whistleblower complaint to be provided to the Senate and House Intelligence Committees as prescribed by law.
And does the administration need to make available the whistleblower complaint that has been deemed to be credible and urgent?
I think it'd be very helpful to get to the bottom of the facts, to follow the law, to get us there. That would include the whistleblower as well as the transcript of the conversation.
But the very basic idea of getting foreign help to influence American political process, that is beyond the pale.
Actions need to be investigated, and I certainly applaud him for highlighting that, and I think it's certainly something that should be looked into. It's very serious. You know, when you look at Biden actually holding up $1 billion worth of aid, allegedly to help his son, I have a problem with that.
As of midday, NBC News reports 152 House Democrats support some form of impeachment inquiry. Democratic House members will meet at 1 p.m. our time to discuss next steps. President Trump said in a tweet this morning that a transcript of the call with Ukraine's president will be released in its entirety tomorrow. Meantime, during his time in the White House, President Trump has had a love-hate relationship with the United Nations. Today, he addressed the General Assembly during their meeting in New York. The stern message directed at Iran while touting what he calls the accomplishments of its administration here at home. Jay Gray's at the UN and joins us now with a closer look.
I have the immense privilege of addressing you today.
As President Trump stands to address kings, presidents, and leaders from around the world, his speech to the UN General Assembly is framed by a growing global crisis: how to deal with Iran. After allegations Tehran ordered attacks on oil fields in Saudi Arabia.
All nations have a duty to act. No responsible government should subsidize Iran's bloodlust.
The president must also deal with growing calls for impeachment amid reports he tried to convince the president of the Ukraine to investigate political rival Joe Biden. The two leaders are scheduled to meet on the sidelines of the summit tomorrow.
If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty.
Claiming the days of globalism are, quote, over, the president talked about what he calls a national renewal, stronger borders, a growing economy, and an increase in jobs, while urging other nations, specifically China, to come to the table to expand trade agreements.
Our goal is simple. We want balanced trade that is both fair and reciprocal.
President's time on the world stage, for the most part, focused on the situation here at home. Jay Gray, NBC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, several cars were destroyed by flames this morning in East Bakersfield. A fire broke out just after 10 a.m. at 108 Towing Inc. on Inyo Street, just south of Monterey. 7 cars were heavily damaged or destroyed. Arson investigators are on scene trying to figure out what sparked those flames. All right, let's check out that forecast now. Kevin has a look at that as we head for a warm-up.
And we've got clear skies out there. This is Rosedale Mohawk, the afternoon commute well underway. And right now in the 80s, 84 degrees, a light wind out of the west-southwest at 6 miles per hour. And tonight you might be heading out to the fair. Here's a look at the forecast. And we're looking sunny at 3 o'clock, 91 degrees. So the 90s are back. By 6 o'clock, we're at 93, but then slipping back into the 80s as we head into the 9 o'clock hour. We're at 79 degrees in Tehachapi right now, a north-northwest wind at 5. That'll pick up a little bit this afternoon, and you can see the temperatures will rise into the lower 80s, slipping back into the 50s after midnight. We'll continue the warming trend tomorrow, but then there is another cool down headed our way. More details on that coming your way in just a few minutes. Maddie?
All right, thanks, Kevin. In your 17 Court Watch now, a woman who police say used a baby stroller to try and cover up her crime is set to appear before a judge this afternoon. BPD detectives were working another case when they spotted a woman struggling to push a stroller on Ojai Court, so they stopped her. But rather than a baby in the stroller, officers found this, more than $6,000 in quarters. The woman tried to run, but officers caught up with her. While investigating, officers discovered a home on nearby Dalehurst Drive had just been burglarized. Officers arrested the woman, 29-year-old Darren Fritz. She faces several charges, including burglary and possession of stolen property. We're learning more about the Bakersfield man accused of killing the mother of his children. 39-year-old Morris Gilmente is behind bars. Police say he shot and killed 34-year-old Luis Abraham and her brother, 20-year-old Carlos Abraham. It happened at the Santa Fe apartments early yesterday morning. Court records reveal Gilmente has a history of domestic violence, and neighbors say he and Luis had a rocky relationship and were heard arguing prior to the shooting. Police say Luis had 4 children. 3 of them were there during the shooting.
She was an awesome person. She was an awesome mom. Always had a smile. Always. Everybody loved her.
Police responding to the call spotted Gilmente speeding away from the complex. When an officer tried to pull him over, he led them on a chase. It ended when Gilmente crashed on eastbound Highway 178 at the Oswell Street off-ramp. Officers arrested him, and he now faces several felony charges. He's being held without bail and is due in court tomorrow. Whenever we report on cases like this, we feel it's important to share information about how victims of domestic violence can get help. First, always call 911 if it's an emergency. You can also call the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault's 24-hour crisis line. That number is 327-1091. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE. There's also the Family Justice Center on Oak Street. And for more information on them, you can go to our website, KGET.com. All right, the Kern County Fair continues. You have a chance to get in today for free and help people in need put food on the table. It's the annual Feed the Need canned food drive. If you donate at least 4 cans of non-expired food, admission's free. It's part of the fair's partnership with Community Action Partnership of Kern. CapK says this drive has helped it give away more than 650,000 pounds of food since 2012. Meantime, today and tomorrow are school days at the fair. That means school kids in preschool through 6th grade get in for free from 9 a.m. till noon. Tomorrow's also Wild Wednesday. You can get a voucher for a $6 ticket at any Les Schwab tire shop in Bakersfield. We've posted a list of them on our website, KGET.com. Are you guilty of these common American diet mistakes? Find out if a typical meal plan in the U.S. makes the grade. Plus, another concerning incident related to vaping. Your 17 Health Watch is after the break. We're back now on your 17 Health Watch. America's vaping epidemic continues to worsen. This morning, 9 people have now died from vaping-related illnesses. The 9th patient lived in Kansas and is the 2nd person in that state to have died from a severe respiratory illness linked to vaping. The governor's office made the announcement yesterday, adding the man was over the age of 50 and also had underlying health conditions. The CDC is investigating hundreds of cases nationwide, though the majority of patients are between the ages of 18 and 34. Michigan and New York have passed bans on flavored e-cigarettes. Health officials say those appeal to young people. Meantime, doctors now say vaping could mean more cases of the flu this year. They say that is because people who vape or use e-cigarettes could have a weakened immune system. That in turn puts their lungs at higher risk of catching illnesses like a cold or the flu.
Those that vape or use e-cigarettes, they have a decreased immune response in their lungs, and that makes them a little bit more susceptible to viral infections.
Right now, the CDC is investigating more than 500 cases of possible lung illnesses associated with vaping. Other health news this afternoon, the FDA has expanded its recall of a widely used blood pressure drug. The announcement targets an additional 5 lots of the generic drug losartan, made by Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited. The recalled lots contain trace amounts of a chemical that has been linked to cancer. This is the 5th time in 2019 that Torrent has expanded its voluntary recall of losartan. Consumers taking the affected medication should speak with their doctors before they stop taking the drug. Health experts have issued a report card on the American diet, and the grade needs improvement. Researchers from Harvard and Tufts universities looked at dietary trends over an 18-year period. While there was a decline in the consumption of low-quality carbs, like refined grains and added sugars, they still made up 42% of daily calories. High-quality carbs like fruits and whole grains only accounted for 9%. Most of the proteins people consumed were from meats, including red and processed meat, rather than seafood and healthy plant sources. For the first time, a major health organization is issuing guidelines on using CBD to treat pain. The recommendations come from the Arthritis Foundation as the popularity of CBD continues to grow. The group urges patients to start with a low dose of the cannabis-derived ingredient and slowly build up until they find relief from the pain. They also say patients should speak with their doctors before they start to use CBD and buy it from a reputable company. However, CBD should not replace any arthritis medications that have already been prescribed by a doctor, nor should it be inhaled. The Arthritis Foundation surveyed more than 2,600 patients, and nearly 80% reported they had used CBD or are considering it. All right, taking you outside, warming up, but it's going to be a beautiful day today.
Yeah, beautiful day, just a little bit warmer, and air quality, unfortunately, not in our favor. So we'll just take it easy if you are going to be running out and about today. We've got 84 degrees in Bakersfield, 83 in Delano, 80 out in Buttonwillow, and then for the mountains, 75 Frazier Park. Tehachapi at 79 with 89 out of the Kern River Valley. Overnight, we're at 67, slightly above our normal of 62. Normal high today is 88, and 103 the record. Set back in 1919, 650 will be your sunset. Not a lot to show you on the satellite and radar. We did see a little bit of fog along the coastal areas, but that has been about it. Tracking a little more off to the east into parts of Arizona. But here at home, beautiful sunny skies and 86 in Arvin, Golden Hills clear and 78. And here's a look at regional temperatures right now. San Francisco in the mid 80s. We've got 81 in Fresno and comfortable 70s down to the south. To the east of us, Vegas getting a little bit of break from the heat as well. They're only at 86 right now. And look at Phoenix, a nice day for them at 81. Here's a look at the overall satellite and radar. High pressure offshore is going to build on in here for today and tomorrow, and that means an increase in temperatures near 100 tomorrow. But then we will see some change out of the north as we head into the weekend and into the early part of next week, and that means another cool down. You can see here on the jet stream the heat kind of sticking around, but then by the weekend into next week we see another trough that dives that colder air into California. So another great cool down is on the way. We just have to get through today and tomorrow before we see improvements. Air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups, as I was mentioning, with an AQI at 122 today. We'll be right near 93 in Bakersfield, Delano, McFarland, 92 in Taft and Maricopa. For the mountains in the Kern River Valley, a little bit on the breezy side this afternoon. Your temperatures right near 83 in Frazier Park, 82 in Tehachapi, 90s for the Kern River Valley. Lake is about 91, a little cooler in Weldon at 87. Look for that sustained wind out of the northeast, 25 to 30. And then for the desert, sunny, winds gusting around 40, 91 in Mojave, 96 in Ridgecrest. Here's your extended forecast tomorrow. 99, pushing 100, and then cooler on Thursday at 95, back into the 80s on Friday, and where we really see the cooler weather is next Sunday and Monday, when we're back into the 70s. In fact, by Monday, we're going to be in the lower 70s. Yeah, that's the daytime high. So you go from almost 100 tomorrow to 71 next Monday. For the mountains, tomorrow 85, 78 on Thursday. You'll also be looking at a significant cool down by the end of the weekend into early next week. Maddie's liking this in the Tehachapi area, where Monday temperatures will be right near 54. I do expect the winds to be around. And then for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow 95, 88 on Thursday, and then 60s Sunday and Monday. So much cooler here in the valley and a lot cooler and almost jacket-like for Maddie in the Tehachapi area.
50s?
It depends.
Yeah. I guess.
For you, a jacket?
You like to yes, definitely.
Okay, that's freezing to Maddie.
Well, it's not freezing, right?
Okay.
Couple dozen degrees above freezing, but still,
it's cold,
gonna be chilly.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Kev. In an age when every parent fears the news of a school shooting, an innovative way schools can take action. We'll show you what one New Mexico school is putting in every classroom and how local fire departments are helping.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
We're back in your 17 Business Watch, and stocks are taking a dive right now on concerns of an official impeachment inquiry after that announcement that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was considering backing that. We should hear that announcement this afternoon. The Dow is down 142 points so far in trading. The NASDAQ down 107, the S&P 500 down about 22 points. Checking out oil prices today, West Texas Intermediate also falling. It is at $57.26 a barrel. Midway Sunset started the day at $61.89 a barrel. Tejon Ranch is hiring, and job seekers have the opportunity to gain employment at a job fair coming up in Lebec. The Tejon Ranch Commerce Center will hold the job fair next Wednesday. Some employers include major distributors like Caterpillar and Dollar General, plus local businesses are hiring as well. The fair is happening from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Petro Stopping Center on Dennis McCarthy Drive, off Interstate 5 across the highway from the outlets at Tejon. Samsung has set a date for the release of its anticipated folding phone. This after it was delayed back in April following early tests which showed it could easily break. The phone tablet duo device is set to retail for approximately $2,000. Samsung says it made several changes after the screen was found to be too fragile. But CNBC reports the fixed version is still quite fragile. Samsung is telling owners of the new device to treat it with a special level of care. Teaching your children about financial literacy is more than just giving them a piggy bank. And while most parents highlight the importance of saving, very few teach their kids how to invest. Experts at T. Rowe Price say parents need to teach their children how banks and compound interest works. When they understand that, they can take on investing. Kids need to know the difference between stocks and bonds, risk versus reward, and portfolio diversification. We don't like to think about it, but preparing for school shootings has become a very serious reality for our students and teachers and first responders. When an Arizona firefighter saw a new way to protect students, he knew exactly what to do. Joy Wang has the story.
In just a few seconds, a simple tool stops an active shooter from opening a door.
Unfortunately, it's a reality in society, and we can't ignore it. So if we can do something to help, then that's what we're going to do.
So when firefighter Aaron McDevitt saw the Glendale Fire Department in Arizona come up with this idea, he pitched it to the Rio Rancho School District, recycling something the department already had and was just going to throw away.
We have to test these fire hoses, and if they fail the different parameters, then they're out of service and we can't use them anymore.
Each classroom has an old fire hose on the wall. So all the teacher has to do is grab it and then slip it over the door hinge. So then the door can't open.
Not to be able to let someone in.
Firefighters have been cutting up these old hoses for about 10 months, making about 700 of them.
I would think that they would feel a little bit safer and knowing that they're able to do that and secure their room or their library room or whatever room they're in.
You can find these devices in all the Rio Rancho high schools and middle schools. Next are the elementary schools.
It's going to start being a part of the drill. We do at least 4 drills a year.
I'm hoping that this will kind of encourage this to be a statewide thing that we can encourage the whole state to do.
Each fire hose can make almost 50 of those sleeves. For now, the department is out of supplies and after cutting up all of their current retired hoses. Still ahead, the show famous for tugging at your heartstrings is back. A conversation with the stars behind This Is Us on what to expect this season ahead of the premiere tonight. Entertainment news is next. Welcome back. You probably remember the old theme song. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. Well, the Addams Family is also the inspiration for a new menu item at the International House of Pancakes. In honor of the Halloween season, the new Addams Family movie, which will be in theaters October 11th, IHOP has 4 new items named after members of the famous family. You can order the dishes at IHOP through November 3rd. Disney's the latest to take advantage of the plant-based food craze. Its U.S. theme parks are going vegan. Every menu, including those at Disney-branded hotel restaurants, will feature meatless options. The dishes will be available by next spring. To help people spot the new additions, Disney's adding a green leaf logo to the menus. Paris and Hong Kong Disney parks have some plant-based options as well. It's a tearjerker of a show that continues to win the hearts of viewers. This Is Us is back tonight, and you can watch the premiere right here on KGET. Mark Barger has a preview.
It's Randall. Your son, Randall.
For as somber an ending as This Is Us had last season, the show's non-linear storytelling style...
Hey, can I see you tomorrow?
Yes.
...allows tonight's new season to start in a much lighter place.
We're going to be kind of going back to the early days of Jack and Rebecca, which make me excited because that means fun hair, makeup, wardrobe, and a little bit of levity, like pre-children, pre-tragedy.
I'm supposed to have dinner with my parents and their friends tomorrow. But you could come.
No, I'll be there.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
Those early days of the Jack and Rebecca romance are some of the favorite moments for the series co-stars.
It's the new love, it's discovery, it's also beyond that. It's the moments when you're really figuring out if it's going to work.
The show certainly has, already renewed for 3 seasons. And with several new characters about to enter the Pearson family universe, even tonight's opener offers a game changer.
This is going to be one of the biggest moments. I think it has the potential to be that, like, them people done it again.
And This Is Us fans have come to expect nothing less. Mark Barker, NBC News.
The premiere tonight is extended. That means it will run a bit past 10 o'clock, and the season premiere of New Amsterdam afterward will run with limited commercial interruption, so we can be with you on time for 17 News at 11. When we come back here on 17 News at noon, the fair may make us all feel like kids again, but if you're taking your kids with you, a good reminder before you hit the fairgrounds.
Welcome back. Finally, noon as the Kern County Fair continues. A good reminder for parents headed to the fairgrounds with their kids.
It's a good time to remind families that the fair can get crowded, and for safety, KCSO says you should bring a full-length photo of your child with you to the fair. That way, if you're ever separated, security will have an exact photo to use when looking for them. And also remind your kids about these little yellow duck feet that you see all over the fairgrounds. Those yellow duck feet are what they should follow if they ever get separated from you or lost at the fair. They're painted all across the fairgrounds, and they lead to the lost children's area where parents can go get reunited with their kids.
Great day for the Kern County Fair as well. Get out and enjoy it.
Beautiful this afternoon. Yeah. That's all for us here on 17 News at noon. We'll see you back live from the fairgrounds tonight at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.